Yeah, pretty much.
What up, 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 America? What's going on? It's your boy. We are in the building, Brooklyn Beers and Ball Sports Show. It's popping, y'all. We are back as always. Y'all know it's so much heat. We got so much good football to talk about. It is on. We are in the building. We got a special guest that's going to join us a little later. He's going to talk about the talents going on in South Beach, but we're going to see what's good about that. But nevertheless, y'all already know what to do, America. We need you to like and share Facebook, YouTube. What's going on with you out there? We popping. We appreciate all the love and support that you've been giving us. So continue today as we get into another fire episode, but we need you to like and share. We need you to subscribe. Hit that little like button, get that notification bell popping. You know what I'm saying? So you can see all the great reels that are popping on and all the 49 of love and the Niner Nation. You know what I'm saying? So, listen, we don't care. Listen, just like
Niner
the show.
Palooza.
That's all. More like right. Exactly. Listen, y'all can see we already ready to pump and we ready to rock and roll, man. Don is in the building. School lover, my brother. Scrap lover, the other, is in the house, man. Representing Philly. Listen, y'all know we got so much football to talk about. Fellas, what's good with you? Don, Scrap, talk to America. What's good?
Man, it's good. This should be a good week of football. We'll be able to spend time with our families and Christmas. I mean, it's just a great time. It's a great time, and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Hopefully you guys can bounce back, man. I'm waiting for you guys.
Yeah, hopefully everything goes the way I need it to. I hate to have to knock the Christmas tree down, man. The Grinch will be in full effect.
Full effect.
Full effect. Absolutely.
Oh man. Awesome,
man. Listen, our boy Scrap been doing this thing, man. This dude, man,
Absolutely.
He's a comedic genius. He brings his element to the show. He had a little something for y'all today, but he wasn't able to put it out there. But y'all keep holding on. Y'all keep watching, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hopefully they won't have to see that, man.
Right. If the Eagles lose, you'll see it. You're
going to see it. It's going to be a whole skit. We're going to have a whole skit ready to go down, bro.
Oh, man. But without further ado, let's get into it. Week 16 is, oh man, we're ready. Week 16.
Yeah.
We already had a pretty, decent game with the Rams and who they played. Rams played the Saints. Yeah, duh.
Yeah,
the Rams played the Saints.
Yes.
And of course, opportunities were wasted. Listen. That offense, I'm just disappointed overall in the Saints because they have weapons, and they had a pretty good defense. I think their defense was playing overall. I can say overalls.
Right, overalls.
They were playing well, but of course, now we understand why maybe the Raiders were ready to move on from Carr.
Facts.
When you have. Michael Thomas has not played. He's been injured. He hasn't played great. But when you have Alvin Kamara, you have Chris Olave. Listen, you're supposed to really, you have Raheed Shaheed. You have explosive players that you're not maximizing. And, when your defense is playing, but so is playing well enough for you to win, holding teams, not allowing them to score ridiculous points. But it's always Carr, and some of his numbers, I think overall, when you look at the end of the year, they're impressive, right? 4,000 yards, this, that. But it just doesn't equate to wins. So, it was an interesting game. They made it interesting down the line, but LA had gotten such a comfortable lead. It was just, now we're just trading, baskets at that point. They had no shot of winning the game. And, I guess it became a respectable game, final score. But that's week 16. That was the start of it.
Yeah.
So to Rod's point last week, he said LA is a team that maybe some teams don't want to face, and that they may, send some people home. Now, I'll say that you might be safe, the Cowboys, because you'll be on the road as well. So it'll be safe. So you guys shouldn't meet because, planes, traveling. You both of you will be on planes going somewhere. So it may not be whoever doesn't get the division is going to be on a plane somewhere. So you probably won't see the Rams, right?
Well, I think so. If Dallas somehow, if we end up with the number 2 seed, I think the Rams would come to whoever plays that 2 seed. So if it's either me or Scrap, they're going to come to the Rams. I think the Rams would then be the ones that would come to us. We'll have that first round. If I'm not mistaken, they will be playing one of us in that first round. But in the 5th seed, if Dallas doesn't win the division and get the 5th seed, then of course we'll most likely go to Tampa. Because it looks as if they would probably win the NFC South. So that's my understanding of it. Might have to do a little fact check on that, but that's what I was reading, and if I read that correctly, that we could play the Rams. And let me tell you something: if the Rams come to Dallas, that ain't the Ram team that we beat, 99-0 earlier in the season. This is a different team altogether. So yeah.
So wait a minute.
If I'm not mistaken, because of the second to the C2 get a bye, do they get a? They don't get a bye.
There's
right?
only one bye.
Only one bye, right? So
and you're looking at it. There's only one bye.
Yeah. America, I forgot to tell you, it's still Don's world. It's still Don's world. Yeah.
Look no further. And then
Absolutely.
The first number 1 seed is looking at you right now.
Yeah.
So I think Rosie is already in the chat. Scrap must have made a phone call to make sure Rosie joined the. Listen, we're not talking about the Niners and the Ravens just yet, Rosie. So you'll have to, stand by for a minute.
Rosie is my JD stopper, man.
Right. All right, listen, we're looking for our correspondent from the UK to join us. Maybe this is a little early for him. I don't know what the time difference is. Maybe he'll join us later, or maybe
just in case. I got my goon. I got my goon on deck.
I see.
Goons on deck. Right.
Watch him, Rosie.
But I'll say this: the Rams are, and the way the season started with Cooper Kupp being injured. And it just seeming like, the coach was talking about, I don't know if I want to coach. I don't know if I want to go and just be a commentator. You had Aaron Donald talking. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes people do that just to get, an extension, get some more money there. I don't know what my future is. I don't know what I want to do. So you had all the team in flux starting the season, and for them to get hot now, do I think they're hot enough to make it to the Super Bowl? I don't think so.
No.
But I do think that they are hot enough to be a spoiler. I do think that they're hot enough to knock a team off that has been playing well most of the season. So they're a dangerous team. NFC West teams, the Cowboys know Arizona without Kyler Murray is still a dangerous team, right?
Absolutely. He definitely know that.
And you may know soon too. You play them, right? Don't you play Arizona? Coming up?
Yeah, they play Arizona.
They got Kyler Murray.
You may find out also. The Seahawks. NFC West is a really good division. We just had overall, there were a lot of injuries. Things took place, and as a result, it didn't pan out. But of course, let's talk about Cincinnati and the Steelers. Now, we've seen a lot. Now, my question, let me start off with this. Mike Tomlin is a very, very accomplished coach. Really good.
Never had a losing season.
Never had a losing season.
Right.
But at what point do we have to then say, because even from Antonio Brown, seeing how that kind of played out, and he comes off extremely hard-nosed, but we've seen with Antonio Brown things that other players, if they're not producing or their production level is not to the status of like an Antonio Brown who had I don't know how many 1,000-yard seasons and touchdowns, and he was a dominant player. So we know that teams will allow you to do a lot more when you're a great player. Mike Tomlin, we're seeing that now. One thing the Steelers they draft receivers. They have a pipeline of
receivers and linebackers.
Yeah, but if we're talking from an offensive end, of course, the league has kind of shifted to more offense. Fans want to see points being put up. They don't really like a 10, a 13-10 game. They want numbers to be put up. Mike Tomlin, even with George Pickens, he has shown that could be potentially a great receiver. He has explosive plays. I think Mike Tomlin's tolerance for that, because they asked him, because clearly over the last couple of weeks, Pickens has not been happy with how many catches he's gotten, the targets, his production as a whole. So instead of, we know receivers can be divas. He has kind of fallen into that place where he's, pouting on the sideline and, not really part of the team if he's not getting, because Deontay Johnson, they throw Deontay Johnson 10 passes. Now, they might be 2 yards apiece, and it's not really a down field threat, or he can be. But of course, Pickens wants his part, right? Because we know that down the line, production is going to equal or equate to paydays. When it comes time to extend, they're going to look at your numbers. They're not going to look at potential, right? They're going to look at what you've actually done. And the fact is, if he's not getting the ball, and let's face it, Kenny Pickett is not the future, right? Kenny Pickett is not the future. Who's the other guy? Trubisky. He's not. I just think about what the Bears did. Traded up to get Trubisky, and he didn't pan out. Now he's kind of a journeyman. He's gone to a few different teams, and just people have beat him out. And so we're at the point where he's not being a team player. There were plays where he needed to block downfield, and he's just making business decisions. Yeah. And so Mike Tomlin, instead of being Mike Tomlin is he comes off as a straight shooter. I don't know if it's pressure from the people over him, but I think that what George Pickens has displayed is, he should be cut. What do you guys say?
Yo, yeah, go ahead, Scrap. You good?
I think Mike Tomlin he's a really good coach, but for somebody that's never had a losing season, it seems like he's always being placed on the proverbial hot seat. Everybody, it's always like, is this going to be his last year? It's going to be his last year. We know that in the world of sports, like the ultimate prize is the goal. You can have winning season after winning season. Like, to go over to basketball, the Raptors fired Dwayne Casey after he won Coach of the Year. Like, he won Coach of the Year, and then 2 months later he's unemployed. Like, individual accolades are not what we're looking for. Owners want to win, because even though like all these owners are billionaires, zillionaires, this is just a hobby for them. They want the bragging rights of, look, I have the trophy, and I need the guy that's going to get me the trophy. So as far as the team, I think that what Pickens is doing, like Don just said, making business decisions. Like, fans tend to feed off of what what the players do. Your team can be horrible, but I know in Philly, we gravitate more towards that player that'll dive in there for a loose ball, that'll make those plays that don't show up on the stat sheet. Just show us that you're giving us as much effort as we're giving you, being up here with our chest painted, face painted, looking like a total fool on the strength for you. So like, I feel like in those blue collar cities like Pittsburgh, those fans, they're used to maximum effort from their players. They're used to having good teams, great teams.
Mm-hmm.
They got a story franchise, and to see somebody to just basically just not lay it out. Any talk he's getting, any criticism he's getting, he deserves it, because you're making millions of dollars to play a kid's game. Dive in there after the ball. If it's a play we're supposed to block them. Humor me and do your job, basically.
Correct.
Just humor me and do your job. So, but in the past years, Pittsburgh always had a good defense. Like we said, they draft like the best linebackers ever. besides them, I mean, a little bit the Cowboys that made my stomach hurt saying that, Cowboys say, let's just go get a linebacker from Penn State.
We're still in therapy session. It's still good. Go ahead.
No, we're out of therapy. Right. Saturday we up off the canvas.
It's carrying over. Therapy works.
Saturday we up off the canvas, man. We got the Vaseline on our face, mouthpiece in. We're ready for another fight. But yeah, I just see Pittsburgh to me, I know Rod hates them, but I don't have no hate towards them. I mean, I would like to see them, be good and meet us in Vegas this year, but we'll see. We'll see what's going on. See Don face.
Come on now. Let's be serious. Let's be serious.
But you know what I'll say to this? No, and Scrap, you nailed it. You spot on about that. I think Pickens, no question. I would. He has 800 receiving yards. Clearly, he's their best weapon, right, on the outside. I think if I'm Tomlin, I would to send a message to the team, right, because this has been a very, very devastating year for this team from the quarterback position. And I'll speak on that in just a second regarding Tomlin, but I would make a statement to the team. I would at least bench him for the first half of a game. You know what I'm saying? Or something to that effect. Something.
But can you afford that?
Yeah, well, you know what? And you're right. They probably can't. But at the end of the day, I think
you got to send the message.
You got to send the message. And more importantly than making the playoffs is this team's culture is broken. They've got to be able to reestablish something again in that locker room. So, to your point, Scrap, they got to send a message. Something has to be said. Like, we're not tolerating lack of effort. And for him to say, because I didn't want to get rolled up on my ankle like that. But meanwhile, your guy, your teammate, who you're supposed to be blocking for, he's in harm's way just the same.
And he got folded.
And he got folded.
Yeah,
he got him folded because you didn't make that block. I mean, and so that's, listen, and then that's the worst thing, right? You can have. I mean, I'm not an athlete. I mean, I never played professional ball, of course, or anything of that nature. But I'm sure anything in a locker room, if you look at cats and you say, man, I can't be in the foxhole with that dude. What that dude just said, like, I don't care. That permeates through the whole locker room, man. That sends a bad message. And you're supposed to be one of the younger talents on this team that, we're looking to maybe build something around you, or you being a very essential piece to what we're building. So to have you say that and to display that lack of effort on there, and like you said, Scrap, fans out there painted up and looking wild and looking crazy on the strength of the team. And then that's the kind of effort you give, particularly in a blue collar, city like Pittsburgh. The whole state of Pennsylvania is hardcore, it's blue nose, it's blue collar. So that is not a representation of
you guys are pit bulls or fans.
You know what I'm saying?
Blue nose.
Blue nose.
Right. Yeah, red nose and blue nose. Now,
the dogs out there. But can I just say one last thing, though, real quickly? I just want to say, Tomlin, I don't think Tomlin needs to leave. I don't think Tomlin has lost the team as many has perceived. I think the problem with this team is just the quarterback. If you give this guy at least a serviceable quarterback, do you know the Steelers have almost just as many touchdowns as they have interceptions out of the quarterback? The quarterbacks on that team, they're just the culmination of quarterbacks have 10 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. That is deplorable, bro. That is straight disgust that you're.
And I think Tommy DeVito has more touchdown passes than and he hasn't played the whole season.
And hasn't played the whole season, right? More than what the Steelers' whole quarterback. It's sad.
It's like, bad.
What do you want this guy to do? Like, Tomlin can only do but so much. And right, if you give this, and still he finds a way for this team to win and being outgained every game. Pretty much, I mean, with astronomical differences, he still is able to find a way to win, right? Thank God for TJ Watt and these guys, right? And they're going to lose on Sunday because Fitzpatrick is out. They don't, of course, KZ's got suspended. So they're missing some people in the back end, although Chase is not going to play. But at the end of the day, I think Tomlin needs to stay. I think they just got to get the quarterback situation fixed. They get that fixed, I think they'll be good to go. And then I think you'll see a different Steeler team come next year. They've never fired a coach ever in that franchise's existence. So this would be something.
That's crazy. I never known.
Yeah, never. This is the only third coach of their existence. That's it. 3 coaches their entire existence from 1969, and they've never fired a coach ever. It's just successions, and that's all they've ever done. So this is an unusual spot. Yeah, go ahead.
So I do think that something needs to be said now. Whether Mike Tomlin, and I don't think he needs to go. I just posed the question. But what I will say is there are patterns that are repeating themselves, and he's going to have to correct it as a coach, quarterback or no quarterback. Mm-hmm. Look at Antonio Brown. they tolerated his behavior, right? Doing lives in the locker room and doing all this stuff. Then when Antonio Brown departs, you got Juju Smith-Schuster. Then you have Chase Claypool. Now you have George Pickens. These are wide receivers who are really great players, have shown flashes of being great, but they are allowed to get away with things that they shouldn't, and it affects the team. Those are, now, is it an isolated incident? Maybe. Personalities, they happen. We know if someone is used to being the man on a team, they've always been an impact player, that's kind of hard to shake. But overall, if you allow these things to happen, it kind of falls on you at the end of the day. Now, I gave, and I just ran off 4 receivers that happen in succession that Mike Tomlin has obviously not addressed that issue. That needs to be addressed. Now, we understand that all players are not created equal, right? The impact to the team is not the same. But you have to go through the motions to make it appear that everyone's on the same level playing field. Because if you create a hierarchy in your locker room, you will lose it every single time. And I think that is repeating itself. So he's going to have to correct that. Okay, you don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater, right? George Pickens is a great receiver, right? Or potentially a great receiver. And who's to say how great he would be with a good quarterback, or at least a decent quarterback.
Right.
But at the same time, that behavior that a person is not going to, now they're making business decisions, now they're deciding, putting themselves above the team, that you can't keep that. You have to, that has to be addressed. Benching them, now you're hurting yourself. And if you let or allow these cancers to fester, you run the risk of now the focus being turned on you. Is he as good? That never had a losing season starts to lose its luster, because it's like, okay, but he's tolerating this stuff, and that kind of dysfunction has a way of messing up the whole team. That's just my point.
I feel like you can't let the players dictate your locker room or your culture, so to speak, as a coach. Because, with me coaching, there's been times where, I've had, players get a little beside themselves in practice. So I made my decision. Okay, he's getting benched next game. So I let him come to the game, let him warm up, let him get nice and loose, and let him sit on the bench the whole game. And then, after at the next practice, we have a conversation. Listen, you got to understand that you can't do that. You're a talent. You're a 15 to 20 point scorer a game. But if your head is not in this, you're just going to try to just walk around like you own the place. Then you want to be the coach, then come sit with the coach. Come sit with me, like, like let me do coach, you do player. In other words, you do what I tell you to do. Go out there, make plays. Go out there, hustle. Go out there, do something to help the team and not just help you. Okay, it's 2 names on the jersey. The one on the front trumps the one on the back every time, unless you're like an all-world talent, like that's just like can just go anywhere, take anybody's starting job, and there's only a few of those out there. Maybe like Tyreek Hill. You see what I'm saying? Like those type of players. If you are a generational talent, like you can't put yourself above the team, right? We was talking about that a couple weeks ago with the accolades of the 2,000 yards, or should he rest up? Should they sit him and get him ready for the playoffs or whatever? Like you got to establish a culture, and you got to stay with it at all times. Like, because if they see this person doing it, they're like, well, how come he can get away with that? Why can't I? So let me see what I can get away with. And then when you call me out on it, but not him, it's like, whoa, wait a minute, he did this, so I do this, and I can't. It's just it creates so much tension and the divide. So you gotta get your system down, and you gotta stick with it, even if it means, like Don said, you might hurt yourself by benching him. Like, oh well, if that's what it got to come to, that's what it got to come to.
Yeah, that's what I feel. Yeah, exactly. And no one has more cachet than Tomlin in that locker room. Yeah.
That's what I was saying. I was just saying, trying to figure out what his best work was. What his best work? What was it? Was it Love and Basketball or Juice? Because he looked just like Omar Epps in the face.
Oh, yeah, that's Juice.
Exactly.
Well, that's both of them, actually. Yeah. He looked like.
I'm trying to figure out what every time I look at him,
one
I
on
see
Power though. He
no.
The Raising Canaan, not
on that one. Right? He don't look like him on that one.
Every time I look at him, I just see Omar Epps, and I just laugh. But yeah,
it's definitely Omar Epps, no doubt.
Yeah, 100%.
Or maybe Higher Learning. That was another one.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Higher learning too. Yeah,
higher learning. Yeah,
true.
But
absolutely.
Yeah. So let's. We're waiting for Corey to join us. I see he has a yo because I know he wants to talk about. Yeah, coming to the join us, man.
Come on in. Yeah, where you at, bro?
We waiting for you, man.
I thought he was back, but where you at?
He's not backstage. We're waiting for him.
Oh, he's not backstage getting makeup. He's not in makeup
right, exactly.
You on the show? You might as well come on in. Where you at? Right.
So while we're waiting for him, hey Rosie, since you're actively on today, Aaron Rodgers, is he gonna play this season, or are they just going to? Is he? Because I think his window, his 21-day window ends Sunday or something. So I think Aaron Rodgers did what he was able to keep the New York media off of him with the promise that he was going to play. Keep
excited at the same time.
Keep them excited.
More so that, yeah.
And I think deep down, because he knows that there's such a huge drop off from his potential play and Zach Wilson or anybody they have in the quarterback position, it's just one of those things that he was promising something that he knew at this point, the New York fan base is like, nah, don't hurt yourself now. We're not in it. We have no shot. So he kept promising, yeah, I'm coming back. And they show him and he's throwing the ball and flinging his fingers around. And they're like, yo, he's coming. He had listen, it would have been a modern day miracle for him to be back in the time frame with his age, given his age and everything else.
Right.
So I don't think that was going to happen. But
correct.
Now he has a reason to say, well, we're out of it. Now let's build for, and I would say this in the offseason. I know they drafted high Zach Wilson. They need to move on from him. He needs a complete fresh start because he can't make it in the New York media. Like it's too difficult. So
where can he make it though? Where can he make it?
Send him somewhere. I mean, send him to
XFL?
Arizona.
Send him to
No. He'll still be because he has arm talent. So let him go to a team that doesn't require much, right? Let him go to a smaller market team where his development is not so heavily scrutinized, right? Because all eyes are on him in New York, right? I mean, win or lose. I mean, Rosie, I'm telling you, is he's a loyal Jets fan,
and I felt bad for him when Aaron Rodgers went down. Like I felt bad for Rosie because I
wanted them to be successful. Yeah. Honestly, I wanted to see that.
I was dreaming of a green Super Bowl, man. All green.
All green Super Bowl.
Man, that wasn't going to happen. Come on, man.
That's a lot of green, bro.
Listen, that way when we win, the Jets can stay out there and celebrate with us, man. Like, hey, it's green, man. We all in here together, A guy can dream, can he?
Of course.
No, of course. No, but with Zach Wilson, though, his cap hit is $11 million next year, so they'll have to keep him on the roster. I mean, unless they just take that dead money hit, you know what I mean? And that I don't know if the Jets want to do that. So
the Jets took a lot of dead money hits.
Yeah.
Cobb is a dead money hit.
Yeah.
Who else?
And what was a bad contract too? Lazard. That contract.
Lazard is a dead money hit. Like that
was a bad contract.
Yeah. Well, they was all for Rodgers. They did that for Rodgers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The coach is a dead money hit. I mean, like he surrounded the team with dead money hits. So what is $11 million to them?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you get him off the roster, right, then you're definitely going to have to put some money back into getting some serviceable backups that you're going to have to bring in there. So, I mean, which is going, a backup quarterback ain't cheap these days. You know what I'm saying? That's the most important position, really, if you think about it. In all of football is a good backup. So, they don't come cheap. They might run you $6-7 million a year for a 1 year deal. You know what I'm saying? So,
The few times that we've seen Sam Darnold, I think he was against both of your teams, right? We saw Sam Darnold. See, what I mean? They don't get
It's still his world, Scrap. We just got it.
I was about to say, man.
It's still his world,
punches,
man.
Keep those punches
yeah,
up, man.
Keep
those punches up, man. He keeps hitting us below the belt, man.
No, I'm just saying, listen.
It's all good.
Okay. Let's talk about the Cowboys and the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Rod, I have some really good news for you, man. I have good news for you.
What's good?
Look, he's feeling good. I have some good news for you, man.
Well, is it based on something in your conspiracies?
Of course it is.
He's telling you your brother's ready. He's telling you your brother's coming on.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think he is coming on.
He's
coming to the stage.
Yeah, coming to the stage.
All right, listen. Welcome to Brooklyn Beards and Ball. Corey, our resident Dolphins fan. He's a Dolphins fan. Now, let's welcome him to the show, man. Let's welcome him to the show. Here we go. I'm adding him to the thing. Here we go.
He gonna talk. He another one that like to slide in with stuff, man.
Okay, so just in time, we're about to talk about the Cowboys versus the Dolphins. Now, I think this should be a really
head shaking.
Good game. I was looking on Twitter. It appears that Tyreek is going to play. He looked like he was, his wife told him he better play. The family that he has, these kids that are coming out of the woodwork, told him that he better play. He got like 7 kids in 2 years. So all of them told him he needs to play on Sunday. Long story short, I think, listen, Miami's in trouble. I'll just start off with that. Miami is in trouble. I think that this is the problem that I'll tell you. Normally, we know Mike McDaniel. He's kind of quirky, funny guy. He wears, off-whites, and he's just like a young prepster, right? Dresses, young, and he has a kind of he reminds me of a younger version of Harbaugh, where he's kind of, you ask him a question and he doesn't really answer it. He starts going abstract and you don't really get what he's saying, but you kind of get what he's saying. I say all that to say that when I saw the press conference with Tua, that's an indication you guys are in trouble. Tua is internalizing. Tua was the level head, quiet, whatever my father tells me I'm going to do kid. Now, all of a sudden, he wants to start addressing the media. Yeah, I'm this. He's letting it get to him. And so I think this game is going to be too much for Tua. I think he's going to feel like he has to prove that it's not Tyreek. It's not Jalen Waddle. It's not our playbook that they stole and went to Miami with. I think he's going to try to push and prove that it's him instead of working within the offense and saying, hey, listen, we're working within the offense and the results take care of itself. It's about wins and losses at the end of the day. And I think he's taking it too personal. And I think that's going to be to their demise. So I do like the Cowboys. I do like the Cowboys to handle business. And when we get to the scores, I'll give you my scores. But the floor is yours.
Real quick, Donald, getting on talking about doing it without Hill and Waddle. Before they got there, his record was about 500 without. He was throwing to Isaiah Ford and Devontae Parker, right? You do know that, right?
I do. That's right.
Okay.
But him addressing it.
Okay.
But so is that how Tua has always been? Even with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek, was he addressing the media like that and saying, yeah, whatever you guys want to say, I'm not a great quarterback without him? The fact that he's losing his cool and getting out of character is what I see as being a problem in this game, because he's going to try to prove that he is very much the part of the offense or just as important as those receivers. And to your credit, you said he's not. He was a 500 quarterback before they got here. So he has to accept that. But the fact that he's not willing to accept that, and the fact that he's now addressing them and he wants his respect, I think he's going to do too much. That's just my take.
Shots fired here, Rod. But did you see what Buffalo did on the ground last week? I don't think Tua need to prove all that this coming up Sunday.
Yeah. But I think
he don't have to do that.
Go ahead.
He don't have to do that. That's not going to be the first. First, we're going to try to establish this ground game because I think our running game is probably 10 times better than what Buffalo offer. They're not even known for running the ball. So I like our chances. Tua going to play within the scheme. He's not going to go outside of that. I feel comfortable about where we're going tomorrow. Feel real good about tomorrow's game. Real good. Donald, man, your shots fired, man. Yo, you gonna relax with my man Tua, man. He all right. You know what I'm saying?
But,
he's doing what he got to do in the system.
How did this playbook you talking about? How did they get it? Did they steal it, or did they take it like my man on the Water Boy? Remember? He said, "I'm gonna have this playbook one way or the other." So you might as well let it go.
I think
you don't. It's gonna get awfully.
But see, you know, I think
physical.
I do think, there's a lot of things that they mimic. I will say this: the fact that Tyreek is back, you would think that kind of helps their overall offense and puts it in their favor. But I think, and I think from a standpoint, the desert wants people to believe that the Dolphins that's going to just put them over the top and they're going to be able to beat the Cowboys. I have news for you, Corey. You guys may not win your division. You may not win your division. You guys you might become a wild card team. I know you don't want to hear that. I already said. In the back of my mind, best believe I definitely thought about that. I've been down this road before. Like I said, I'm a realist first. So I think getting tomorrow's game, that would closely solidify the division. I think even with Buffalo being in charge tomorrow. So I feel like tomorrow's game, that's the do or die for the division tomorrow. Because I do believe it comes out of Buffalo week 18. It is in Miami. I don't feel too confident about that game, I must admit. Just being a realist. I heard you say a couple of times it was do or die. There was a do or die game in Kansas City. I thought you said
no.
You guys are better. What's going on?
I did say,
How many do or dies we gonna have?
Right, week 1, preseason game 2. Do or die.
These bones, these dry bones live. Dry bones at some point. Like, how many?
Does he have? Is it more do or dies than upset alerts? Like, who put out the most? Because you put out like 20 upset alerts. How many do or dies do we got?
Oh man, scrimmage game.
I honestly think, though, in my
it's a big game. It's a big game.
I think the Dolphins, if they run the ball, I think they have a lot of success because the Cowboys line, while they're fast, they're small. So if the Dolphins can establish the run and stick with it, I think this might be you know what? I'm going to take a page out of Don's book. I'm going to put the Cowboys on upset alert. Absolutely. Oh, are they the favorites?
Yeah.
Let's see. I think what's the line on that?
I think the line on that game is. Let me see. I had pulled it off. Let me see.
Because I know it's not. I know it started off even. I thought.
It's Miami's up. Miami 2. They favor by 2.
Oh, the favorite. Oh, well, then no upset then. No, it won't be no upset tomorrow.
I think favored by 2.
Yeah, I think the fact that having Tyreek will keep the defense honest because they got to watch him. And if they're going to put Bland on him, Bland's going to have to start back like 10, 15 yards off of him just to keep up with him once he gets, you know. I mean, they absolutely cannot put Gilmore on him. They cannot.
No,
like if they put Gilmore on him, man, it's going to look crazy.
Yeah, he might get the record tomorrow.
I was going. You took the words right. I said he's going to actually get 2,000 yards tomorrow, like on the day. He's going to have 1,900 yards.
Let me say this. Okay, we understand. We understand his vulnerability with Dallas on defense because of the linebacking situation, and then of course Hankins being out as well. So what Dallas is going to either have to do, because what Buffalo did was with their 20, we talked about it last week with their 22 packages, Dallas is going to have to either add another lineman up there. We're going to have to or bring Evans in. There's been a lot of talk about playing Micah off the ball, but you still got to have Micah at edge because we still need him to rush. Because here's the thing. The best defense for Dallas is going to be their offense. So defensively, you bring in Evans. You're going to have to bring him down a little. You're going to have to still keep coverage over the top for Tyreek. I don't think Waddle and those guys. I think we can take away their receivers, except even Tyreek, if we keep everything in front of us. We might have to go too high shell to a degree. And here's the thing: if they run the ball, which would obviously consume some time, but I don't think they're going to run ramshot like Buffalo did. Really, I don't think so, because Buffalo ran the same play, and I don't know what Quinn was doing, but he never stopped it. It was the same pin and pull play. I mean, right, left, right, left, right, left. They never changed the play. This is what was so frustrating about Dallas schematically in that game. But if we bring in Evans, we have to bring in another body in there, because obviously, even though he's really good, but he's a hybrid, but Marquise Bell is just too small. And then, of course, and then what you call it is looking. Damone Clark has not looked good this season. He had his highs and lows. But I think if we're going to have to bring in another defensive lineman, we're going to have to go and beef up that a little bit more to try to at least neutralize the game. But here's the thing. Dallas has to get rolling on offense. Every time we got the ball in Buffalo, which we never got a lot of time to play, we didn't get into a rhythm. Dallas got to strike, and we got to strike hard. The defense for Miami doesn't really scare me. I know you got Howard, and obviously Ramsey's playing at an all-pro level since he's been back. I've been looking at. I did some research on his stats and getting into the details of his play. He's been balling. Now he's not going to probably follow CeeDee Lamb around from what they're saying and what the insiders on the Miami side, and Corey, you could probably speak a little bit more to that. They're saying that that's probably not what he's going to do, because that's not what they want to use him for. But if he's on the outside on that end, then obviously he'll cover him. But I think Dallas has opportunity. I think we have opportunity. We can still get Fergie up the sideline. And Dallas has to be creative. We got to get motion. We got to do a lot more than what we did in Buffalo. We looked like the team we were when we were 3-1. And going into San Francisco, that's how just unimaginative the offense looked last week in Buffalo. There was no motion. There was nothing there. It was just drop back and throw. That was it. You know what I'm saying? So Cook has got to step up and really have a big game. I think we got some opportunities over the top. Holland is still out. He's not playing their safety. So I think we got some opportunities on the back end of their secondary. Dallas has to score. The only way to cover the flaws of that defense, which is built to play with a lead. Because the thing is this, and here's to Don's point a little bit. If Miami still gets that itch to want to throw, and they want to start maybe coming away from the run for whatever their reasons might be, that's when you're going to play into Cowboys' hand. We lead the league in pressures. That is the strength of our defense, is pass rush. So once we come at the pass rush, that's the thing you don't want to do if you're Miami. So yeah, you want to run the ball. If it's 3rd and 10, run the ball. Because if y'all don't have success, all we really got to do is stop y'all on the first down run. If we get y'all in a 2nd and 8 type of situation, then it's going to be a situation where y'all going to have to make some decisions on whether y'all going to throw.
Did you just tell them they got to run the ball on 3rd and 10?
Yeah, I said, because my thing is, if they're going to be committed to the run, that's almost what they will need to do. Because once you drop back with Dallas, it's a wrap. So the point I'm making in that, when I say, and I'm saying it facetiously, is what I'm saying.
Please,
if we stop them on 1st down, all Dallas really got to do, and that's the key to the run, stop them on 1st down. They get a 5-yard, 6-yard run on 1st down. That's when it's going to be a wrap. Dallas can get them and keep them under 3 yards on the first down run, or any run at that point, even if it's on 2nd down. Then you kind of make them make a decision to maybe if they have to back there, if they drop back and throw. And then now you kind of playing into Dallas's hand because we can rush the quarterback. So clearly the defense against the run, because we're just small. We lost Overshown in preseason. Our 3rd-round draft, he was a monster. That dude would have been a Pro Bowl player this year.
Here we go.
We lost Van Der Esch, who's probably now his career is gone. You know what I'm trying to say? And so, I'm just pointing out the fact. That's why we small. Excuses. That's why we got to bring Marquise Bell in there. He's a hybrid safety. We got to, and then Clark really wasn't ready, but he had to step up and play.
L.
So,
pre-made excuses. Just add L.
But we're going to talk about excuses when we get to your coach and we talk about the Giant game. We're going to talk about the excuses your coach was speaking about this week. But
Rod, I'm here to tell you, Rod, that
the
Cowboys are not only going to jump on them. And see, this is that you took the words out of my mouth, and we didn't even discuss this, pre-game or pre-show. Mm-hmm. The Cowboys are going to establish, how do the Dolphins play when they when they don't have a lead, when they're coming from behind. I know that they have, of course, if you have Tyreek, you always have the opportunity of a big play, one 70-yard bomb. But I think the pass rush of Dallas, coupled with the pressure that you got to score, And then will come into play the Tua comment. All of that stuff is going to come into play. I know the Cowboys don't play well on the road, right? Their road record is terrible. Mm-hmm. But I will say this. Well, I think the fact is that I foresee the Cowboys jumping to a 14-3 lead. And I think they will apply immense pressure to the Dolphins. And I think Tua definitely book it. Turnovers. Overs with an S. Turnovers. A sack fumble and at least one pick. Book it. Let me bookmark this comment so that, and because, I talked to somebody and they said, I mentioned on Twitter, the Dolphins will not be the number 1 seed. And somebody told me, yeah, I'm a bookmark this. I'm a bookmark. You know who said that, Corey? Somebody said they're going to bookmark it. And now we're a few weeks away from what ultimately is going to happen. But listen, they're not going to be the number 1 seed. It's going to be the Ravens. And what would be worse is if you guys don't win your division and then you go on the road. That would be tragic. That would be
tragic. It'd be an epic failure. That would be an epic
Dolphins
failure.
In the cold weather.
I mean, I'm not too much worried about the cold weather. I mean, you got these college football players, they play all type of weather now. So I'm not worried about that. Even last year in Buffalo, we played good up there in December. Them days is over. I'm not worried about that. But it would be an epic failure if we didn't win the division. I totally agree with that.
And Tua wasn't even the quarterback when you played in Buffalo.
Yeah, he was. He was the quarterback we played up there last year in the snow game. It was in the regular season, not the playoff game, not the playoff game where we had the backup. That was the backup.
That's what I was referencing.
We went up there in December, and that was a snow game on Saturday night that we went up there. I think we lost by 2 points. But like I said, I mean, Dallas and Rodney's got a point with the pass rush, but you're also facing Tua, one of the quickest releases in the game. So I feel like the game is going to be won at the line of scrimmage on both ends. I mean, your corners are going to have to apply some pressure. They're going to have to press and throw us off them routes because the timing, if you don't get physical, you don't stand a chance. I'm going to be honest with you, don't. And the only time I see we have problems is I get nervous when Tua holds on the ball. You know what I'm saying? When Tua is scrambling for 5 seconds, even when he has time, with more than 2 seconds, I get nervous. Most quarterbacks, a breakdown about to happen, a big play about to go down. But I like to see the Tua get the ball out less than 2 seconds. That's what I feel most confident with. But I just think it's going to be both defensive coordinators. Their game plan is where the game is going to be won. I like Dallas defensive coordinator. What's my man name over there? What's Smith? Yeah,
Dan Quinn.
I like Dan Quinn, ex-Falcon. I like him as a defensive coordinator. Vic, his scheme has been tremendous. I got to say, the last 6 weeks or so since Ramsey came back, I don't think it's going to be as explosive as a game it will be, but I do feel like it's going to be one in the trenches. It's going to be one in the trenches, and with the CeeDee Lamb being followed. Who is our slot corner? He's a pretty good slot corner, physical slot corner. So I think we'll go with that in the beginning and see how it goes. Mm-hmm. And then if it doesn't work out fine, then we'll have to switch in with Ramsey. Because outside of Lamb and Fergie, I'm not worried about Gallup and Cook. I'm really them two there, not concerned with them too much at all. So, I feel like if we can run the ball,
definitely Gallup.
This game, if we can run the ball for over 150 yards, this game is.
No question about it. No, listen, I'm telling you, no question
about it. Most teams will win if they run for 150.
Yeah,
150. We can run for 375. I guarantee
we run.
I'm telling you, anything.
In the first quarter, we'll win, right?
Yeah, and I tell you, the first half would tell if we're able to run the ball out. Because if we're not running the ball well in the first half, we kind of must stray from it in the second half.
Yeah, so and that's all I'm saying. You're right, Corey, and I agree. I just want to interject that real quick because I just feel like that. Look, I think that Mostert and Aiken, listen, those boys could run. So I'm not saying they're not going to get their runs. That you might see they're going to rip off a 15-yard run. You know what I'm saying? They may rip off a 12. They may rip off an 18-yard run even. You know what I'm saying? But for all intents and purposes, if we could still minimize it and still keep Miami in a position to still throw the ball. Why? Because if Dallas offense is scoring, you can't commit to the run the way Buffalo did. Buffalo was able to commit to the run because of the fact that they had a lead and Dallas wasn't scoring. So at some point, all they had to do was keep running. But if we score, we match point for point, y'all can't stay with that run. You're going to have to throw that ball. That's why the offense for Dallas is critical. Now, the thing I'm concerned with, and I'm still battling in my head about even if I'm going to be objective about who will win. Our all-world first ballot Hall of Famer, Tyron Smith, was just upgraded to doubtful. So downgraded rather to doubtful. So he most likely won't. They won't know till today. He hasn't practiced all week.
He's not playing.
So he's not playing. So now you got that's the left end. Who's coming off the left end? Chubb. So we got Edoga. Now, only thing I like about Edoga has worked with the first reps. He's gotten good run this year. He has played because Tyron was out in the early part of the year. He's serviceable. He's not bad. What'd you say?
He was dating Neil Long.
Right. Ime is going to right. Ime Udoka. Right. Taking a trip from Houston. He's going to be down there in Miami blocking for Dak on the backside. But my thing is this, though, is he's serviceable, but he's not Tyron Smith. So I don't know how the game plan is going to change a lot, because when your left tackle is out, who's all world like that, okay? And ask D, when life without Trent Williams is hard. You know what I'm saying?
Don't bring me into this, please.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just letting you know that it's
just a point of reference, right?
I'm just a point of reference. That's all. It's still your world.
Problem.
I'm not, I bow down. I'm 42. Good. But listen, the truth is that that's a huge deduction from our offensive line. Now, Miami, y'all compromised 2 on the line. Y'all got about 2 starters that are out, if I'm not mistaken, Corey, right? Connor Williams is out for the season, right? Am I right? Your center? And then,
the center's gone.
I think your other boy
Jackson is playing. He'll be there. Armstead will be there.
Then there's another dude that they've been mentioning.
Oh, you talking about Hunt? Hunt won't be there.
Yeah, Hunt is out. Hunt is out. Right. Hunt is other. Right. So y'all got like 2.5 starters, if you will. Right. So that's huge. So again, and you're right, Corey. It's going to be in the trenches. So we'll see what the trenches look like.
What's the update on Zach Martin?
Zach is going to play. Yeah, he's going to play. He practiced on Thursday and
limited.
Yeah, it was limited, but he comes on the 103.5 the Fan there every Thursday. So yeah, he's like, nah, I'm good. I'll be able to play. Yeah, because that hit he took was on the quad. It wasn't on the knee, thank God. So yeah, he'll play. He'll play. Yeah, he's gonna play.
Don't worry, Rod. Don't worry.
I don't know, D. I am a little nervous. This is a team that scares me because Miami just has so many freaking weapons, man. It's like they got. I mean, it's so many weapons. It's a lot of.
It's gonna be a lot of motion.
I'm saying what he does.
Cartwheels in the backfield.
Yeah, he did this. You did this last week. I'm saying what you do.
You saw what happened, right?
You prep it just in case you lose. You say, "See,
I'm objective. I'm objective." Nah, listen, I'm gonna pick Dallas to win this game, but I'm I am very nervous though. But this is a must-win for Dallas. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'll say this. I'm gonna throw it back to you, Don, and you can take us where you gotta go. But I'm gonna say this though, very quickly. This game for me as a Cowboy fan will show me what we are for the playoffs. If Dallas does
last week,
if we get but I'm saying
I'm so sick of these.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious.
Fleeces. He wants a fleece. You send me a.
If the dude falls down, if the kick return doesn't
right, exactly.
Right,
he moonwalks. It's not like, yo, come on,
I'm
man.
just saying, we don't play well on the road. To your point, D. Right? We don't play well. Our record is 3-4. It's obviously under 500, but it's not even so much the record. It's how bad we play. Like we didn't show up. We stayed on the bus in San Francisco. We maybe came out for the first quarter against Buffalo, and then we went back into the locker room. We don't show up in the big games against big teams on the road, right? Now we know Miami has their issues of beating teams over 500 and all that stuff, but for Dallas, you're gonna have to go on the road to win, right? So in the playoffs, that is. To me, this will show something to me, okay? The way we play. If we lose this game, it is a disheartening loss, but Dallas has to show up. If we look like where we look like in Philly, played well, but imploded at the end, then, I don't know, man. I'm just going to say that this is a team that I don't know what we could say about the Cowboys. I still don't know who they are in that sense, because we got to win a game on the road. And if we beat Miami on the road, a high-octane offensive team like them, I think without a Tyron Smith against a Chubb, against their pass rush, the Miami Dolphins has 48 sacks, and 32 of those 48 sacks actually came off no blitz. That's just their front four. So they can get to the quarterback too. So we come out of that game with a win, no matter how I don't care what goes into whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? 2 minutes into overtime, I like our chances.
Y'all imploded against the Cardinals. That was an implosion.
No, that wasn't imploded. No, we never had the game. To implode, you got to be in control. And
y'all was winning.
Everything falls apart. We didn't do that.
I think they were losing.
Starters out in that game. Yeah, we were losing. They ran the ball on us.
Yeah.
They did what Buffalo did.
If I hear about people being out one more time, man, like I'm going to scream. Like everybody got injuries. Your brother didn't even
I'm just bringing out the points why Marquise Bell was where he was. Why you got a light bot? Why you got a light second in? I mean a secondary.
But your brother didn't even mention the injuries on his team. You did. You like, hey, y'all got Hunt out and Collins out, right?
Well, I was bringing up the point about the line, the trenches. That's all. I was just saying the game is in the trenches because
brotherly shove. That was a brotherly shove.
Yes, it was. Absolutely.
Listen, so let's get a score, man. Let's get a score. We'll start off with Corey. What's your score, man? What's your score?
All right, man. This of course I feel like we're gonna win the game. I'm gonna go with 27-20. 27-20. I feel like I definitely hope it don't come down to a field goal to win the game. Because Aubrey, he's like automatic. He is the cheat code. So I'm going with 27-20. I think it's going to be.
Why your face look like that, Scrap?
No, I was.
No. I saw your face. Right.
No. Right. I was born with
I'm gonna
this
go.
face. What do you like? This face I was born with is the only one I got. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go with Dallas trying to score a touchdown on the last drive of the game and coming up short. And I think that's gonna end the game. I think it's gonna be a 20-20 game. I say so in the fourth quarter. So, and I think Miami takes it down for a touchdown. It gives Dallas some time left, but they fall short. So I'm going with 27-20. I think it's going to be a good game, very, very good game. And I don't think it's going to be as many explosive plays. I think Dallas will kind of maintain to keep things in front. Because I do respect their defensive coordinator and feel like he will come up with something to kind of, contain us to a degree. So I'm going with 27-20 Miami.
Well, unless Marquise Bell gains about 20 more pounds between now and tomorrow, I don't know if there's anything schematically other than add another lineman to stop the run. It's going to be hard. I'm going 36-30 Dallas. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I do think. I think you're going to see a lot. I think it's going to be
high-scoring too.
I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think you're going to see some explosive plays. This game is going to be about stops. Who gets the stop? Who gets the final stop? Who gets that critical stop in the fourth quarter? The stops is going to be critical. So I think in that sense, and I'm kind of on the inverse with Corey in terms of how he predicts the game to end. I think it'll be the other way around with Tua trying to scramble out of something, and we get a play there, we get a sack or something like that, and then we kind of end there. We end there and drive. So I'm on the inverse of his prediction there in terms of how the game would end. But yeah, I think you'll see a high scoring game. I do, because I think Dallas has opportunity to do some things against their defense. But we'll see. Yeah, but we'll see. But it's gonna be tough, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm picking that game. I really think Miami is still the better team going in a little bit because of their weaponry. But I'm gonna say 36-30. Yeah. Dolphins scored 70 again. You know what? All right.
Yeah, but no, I think I actually like the Dolphins this week, and not just because with the whole division race. I just think that if they come out and do what I tell them to do, run the ball, I like the Dolphins. I like the Dolphins 31-29. Like he said, I think the Cowboys are going to go, try to march down the field late and not get it done. I think Dak throws like a really, really bad game ending pick.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. I mean, listen, hey man, listen. You told me to be objective. I'm being objective right now.
No, you being an Eagle fan right now. That's what you.
No, don't let the shirt throw you off, man. I'm objective. This is the uniform that I gotta wear.
I think that I do like Dallas. I think it'll be a high scoring game. I like Dallas 35. Dolphins 20.
Wow.
I think
so that
it's going to be some defensive touchdowns scored late in the game because
house divided. The house divided right now.
I think Tua him getting out of character stood out to me. The fact that he had been kind of level-headed. Listen, laugh. No problem. Laugh. The fact that he got out of character and he now, because I look at players, he gets the ball out of his hands fast. But I think there is a pressure, whether it's him applying the pressure to himself or he hears the voices of, well, you're not that good. You're, maybe he's listening to Cam Newton. Oh, Cam, he's a game manager. And all of that builds up to a point where now he wants to say that he was saying it tongue in cheek. Yeah, I'm not good without this person. I'm not good without that person. I think unless McDaniel can slow him down and kind of settle his nerves, I think he is going to try to prove that he is a great quarterback. And he doesn't have to. You just play within your offense and everything will take care of itself. You have explosive players. I mean, what team doesn't win without great players? So I think me seeing that is an indication. Plus, I do think that Miami, I've said it all season, they're frauds, right? I think they look good. I have quoted Colin Cowherd that says Miami is a spray tan, a South Beach spray tan. They look good, but once you get close, you see that it's not the real thing. So I do think that they're fraudulent. And I think it will be exposed. The Cowboys I know they're dealing with injuries, but I think that they have enough to expose Miami as other teams have. And Dallas being on the road, everything lines up for Miami. It's under a field goal. Everything lines up for Miami to beat them. I think Dallas is going to handle business, and it's going to be a convincing win. It's important for Dallas to keep pace. It's important because they still have everything in front of them, as Miami does. They have everything in front of them to try to win their division, perhaps the number one seed. But I do think for sure, Ferguson is going to have a very, very good game. Anytime touchdown with Ferguson. Book it. I think the running backs for Miami will be neutralized. They're not going to. Dan Quinn is going to have an emphasis on preventing what happened because let's not forget, Miami put up 70 points against Denver. What did they do the following week? Beating up the Jets 30-zip is not impressive. They have no offense. Get Miami behind in score and see what they do. I'm not convinced that they are a team that can play from behind. And the fact that Tua is losing his cool kind of confirms that. But that's my score. 35-20, Dallas. Dallas will handle business, and I'm really confident that will take place. Now, I could be completely wrong, but I like Dallas winning comfortably. Wow. Anything else before we move on to the
real quick, man? The 30 points on the Jets have a very elite defense still. Okay, I don't care what
they have a good defense.
You see the team. You see the quarterbacks that they did neutralize this season. Do I need to name them?
If your team is doing 3 and outs, do you
don't
think
matter, Donald? They've been doing 3 and outs all season since the fourth play of the season. They've been doing 3 and outs. Garbage the whole year. Donald, come on. You got to give some 30 points on that secondary and that defense. That's pretty good. With no Tyreek? Come on, Donald. Let's give a little bit of credit for that. I'm not going head over heels over it, but come on. 30 without Hill on the top 5 defense? Come on, you don't even mention it then, because that's not. Listen, you got to give a little credit for us for that.
I give little to no credit. I give a
don't mention it, or don't.
I give a team credit for shutting out an NFL team. Right? Where's the pride with the Jets not getting shut out? Right? Where's their pride that, hey, we're going to get something? But if a team can't get to the other team's, side of the field.
Defense is a defense regardless. We've seen plenty of teams. We've seen Baltimore, that old Baltimore team with no offense, still been able to play defense and score. Their defense could have scored points for them. They could have turned the field around and made it a short field for them. Come on, Donald. Got to give to a little bit of credit for 30 last week on it. All right, that's cool.
I don't give it any. I'm sorry. I hate to burst your bubble. 30
to zip can't be mentioned. It
should be. So, all right, so let me ask you a question.
Mention another team, but don't say the Jets, because the Jets do have a good defense. Look at all the quarterbacks that they played very well against.
So can a team, let me ask you, Corey, since you
change it up then.
Can a team win in 2023 solely with defense? What team is solely winning on defense in the league today?
You seen Minnesota do it 2 weeks ago. They won 3-0, 6-3 or something like that. Teams can win with defense. Come on, Donald. Teams can win with defense.
All right. Will you be on the
I think Donald's point, but I think Donald's point is that because the Jets still a top 10 defense.
But the reality, yeah.
No, but I think Donald's point is that, but
if they're on the field,
it's easier.
45 minutes of the game.
If the offense can't score, right? You know what I'm trying to say? Then it changes the way the defense plays, right? The defense for Miami is snoozing through that thing. Like, even I think Ramsey said it. He said he was actually bored in that game against the Jets.
He did say that.
He was bored. Right. So what I'm saying is that because if there's no pressure coming from the offense, the defense, though the defense is a good defense, but the defense can't really. There's no. They have nothing to really play for at the end of the day.
But still, I'm saying, but even with no Hill, we still put up 30 on them, man. And Waddle went bananas on them. We didn't even run the ball good on the Jets. We didn't even run it. And you know what they did? They did fake field goals. You know what I'm saying? They figured their defense could stop us, and we went right down the field.
That's not why they did it.
They did a fake field goal early in the game, thinking their defense will hold us. Because it was early in the game, they did a fake, not a fake field goal, they did a fake punt.
They got nothing to lose.
Let me tell you, when a team does those things, those Statue of Liberty plays and all kind of rabbit in the hat, that's because they can't manufacture offense. That's the reason. You don't do trick plays if your team can systematically move down the field. Your run game, the Jets' run game could not get any traction. Your offense, Garrett Wilson, neutralized. Like, if you can't get playmakers, they only have a few playmakers on their team in the first place. Zach Wilson is not the answer. Their quarterback could not. That's why every week they're changing the quarterback to try to, we'll try this guy. And we'll try to get something.
I totally understand they offense is trash, but it's the defense line is still the same defense. It's not like they had a amount starters that was out. It's still line up and play. You know what I'm saying? You still got to go 60 yards to score. You still got to go, if it's first and goal at the 10 or whatever, you still got 4 tries to get. It's the same defense. The defense is the defense. They're still out there. But you just don't use the Jets. Don't use them. Use somebody like we scored on Carolina or the Giants or something like that. We put up points on, but to put up 30 on that team with no Tyreek Hill, and the Jets, they came in with some little momentum. They was trying to, like, they were going to do something in that game. They felt like they had a chance, and we shut it down quick. So don't use that.
So I know I said a lot of stuff and you only are addressing. What about the 70 points one week and then you lose by 20 the following week? How come you're not going to address that?
That's awful. That's all. I will address that. That was an awful performance. That Buffalo game we lost, that was solely on us not putting Howard on Diggs. We left Diggs alone. He started moving around on the field. We had no Ramsey, and Diggs went bananas on us. That game was close in the first half. We was in the game in the first half. But the second half, we chose not to. Howard.
Luckily, there's 4 quarters to a football game.
Yeah, it is.
First half doesn't matter.
Yeah, and we didn't. We left Diggs. He was single covered the whole game against Kadu. The whole game, he roasted him.
He could don't.
And we got lit up in the second half.
All right,
agree.
well,
You know what I'm
listen,
saying?
Jets. All right, so I don't know if Rose
say
is still
Washington.
on there.
Washington.
Jets are world beaters. Their defense.
That's good defense. Jets don't have a good defense still.
Well, can I read y'all the overall? This is on ESPN. This is the top defenses, overall defenses in the league. Top 10. I'm just gonna read the top 10. It'll actually be quite surprising. So you got Cleveland, then Baltimore. Guess who's the third best defense in the league overall right now? It's gonna shock you.
Tampa Bay.
Carolina's the third best because they only give up 173 yards in the air on average. So they have a really good pass defense. Kansas City's number 4. Miami is 5. Dallas is 6. Jets is 7. Patriots are 8, and San Francisco's 9. And then the Falcons are 10.
10, yeah.
Yeah, the Falcons are 10 on defense. So those are the top 10 defenses overall. Okay, so
that's going off of what? That's it going total points or yards?
No. That's overall. Everything. That's overall defense. So that's including
everything put together.
Points, pass defense, and run defense.
So what were the Jets?
The Jets were 7, 8, 9, 10. Jets are 7. So they're still a top 10 defense. They give up 20 points a game. So and when you look at those teams, so Cleveland only gives up 20 a game. Baltimore gives up 16. Carolina gives up 25. Kansas City gives up 17.5. Miami gives up 21 points a game. Dallas gives up 18 a game. Jets give up 20, as I said. New England gives up 21 points. San Fran gives up 16 points a game. And the Falcons give up 19.9, so roughly 20. So that's it. But overall, what I read out was the overall defenses of each team, not just
35-20. Mm-hmm. I'm even more encouraged by 35-20. Everything you read me in my mind, I heard 35-20. I am super encouraged by 35-20. And please be on the follow-up show, Corey, because you know what's going to happen.
Tuesday.
Most likely Tuesday.
It'll be Tuesday.
I'll be off. I'm off.
Okay,
I'm off.
Cool.
I don't go back to work for
I'm telling
another
you,
week.
we were close with the coin flip. We were close. We were right there in the coin flip. I'm telling you. Miami is not as good as you think they are. They are not as good as you think they are. But time will tell.
Oh,
wow.
And you play Baltimore. Guess what?
You guys play Baltimore. We play Baltimore next week.
We play Baltimore.
Yeah, y'all got a tough schedule.
Baltimore. So I'm a big Niner fan come Monday night. Yes.
Oh, yeah,
we will be we'll be the number 1 seed again.
We can't bail you out. We already did favors for your brother. We can't do it for everybody. We can't, listen. We already gave
only one household, right.
Right. Try to hook everybody.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. You the plug. You the plug, Donald.
Right. You the plug, son. You.
We done hooked everybody up.
You the plug, son. Empower, son. You the plug. We need to get the plug. Who's the plug? Right?
All right, let's talk about.
All right, man.
I don't mean to cut, but I'm gonna go ahead and shoot out because I got to run to get some.
We appreciate it. Man. Thanks for joining.
Yo, much love, brothers. I appreciate y'all,
Christmas,
man. Appreciate y'all. Merry Christmas to y'all and the fam, man. And I'll see y'all Tuesday.
See you
tomorrow,
up,
baby.
Son.
All right, peace, y'all.
All right, bye. Later.
So let's.
They're gonna get murdered. They're gonna get murdered.
They're gonna get destroyed.
Yeah, they're gonna get murdered.
They're gonna get destroyed. I'm telling you. They go. But nah, you picked them to win.
Cowboys.
No, Scrap picked the Dolphins.
Then Scrap changed it. He said, "I'm going to Dallas." He said he ended up.
When he was going on that,
my mind.
when he was going on that rant, I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and change my vote right now."
Yeah, they're gonna win convincingly. Dallas is gonna win convincingly.
I pray, fellas. Listen, John. Thank you, man. I need all the encouragement I can get, man. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I really hope
it's not so much.
You've been doing well with your
obvious
picks
stuff.
this year. You've been doing well with your picks.
I just don't think Miami's as good as people think they are. I just, they have great pieces, but I think if Dallas, as I said last week, the key to them was getting a lead, jumping on Buffalo early, and then allowing that defense to really work.
Right.
I think in Miami, coming off of that loss, I think they're going to do what's necessary to establish their offense early. I think Ferguson. Once again, Ferguson's gonna have a big game.
I hope so. I think he didn't do nothing last game. He was kind of quiet.
Once your team gets out of sync, and now you're from. And so, what I was trying to say is, yes, the Jets have a really good defense, and if they had a quarterback, they might win that division.
Right, easily. Oh, Aaron.
But because their defense is better than every other team in that division, right? Exactly. And I know you're giving the stats, and they're 5 and they're 7 and all.
No, but I agree with your point. You
need offense.
You need offense. That's what I say. It's misleading to say that because, again, they don't have any offense. Like, we blew the Jets out too. But the truth of the matter is, they couldn't move the ball. They didn't do anything. I don't even think they got on outside of the field. The ball, they did score a big hit to Garrett Wilson. After that long touchdown run, that was it. He hit the shot, was 2. So that was it after that play. So, yeah, you need offense to play. Your defense going to do but so much. I mean, they're not going to play inspired. Yeah. So I saw your point there.
Let's talk about the Eagles. Can the Eagles beat DeVito? Man, if I see this.
Yo, if you see it, bro. Scrap, if this comes out.
I saw on Twitter that there's some internal talks or frustration with Jalen Hurts. And I'm like, where'd that come from? You just paid him. He just got the bag. Obviously, he's a really, really good quarterback. They've been playing well. I mean,
yeah, he is.
Did you really expect to win every single game? There's bumps in the road. You just have to be able to weather the storm, right the ship. You have enough veteran players, and you need to focus on the next game. I think when Jalen Hurts was sick last week, I don't know if he had the flu. He had to travel separately from the team. They lost a difficult game, and there was opportunities where they could have put the Seahawks away. They let the Seahawks hang around, and as a result, locked through past the JSN and won the game. But moving forward, you still have an opportunity. If you win out and you take care of business with a very easy schedule, you still can win your division. You can still win the NFC East. So I think everything is still in front of you now. If there is some internal fighting, if A.J. Brown starts to become overbearing in his demands for the ball, then I think that is a recipe for disaster. But overall, I think if you play within your offense, you utilize now the Quiz Watkins, that person should not get a touch. Only an injury. If someone's injured, then they come in. Your focus should be your core players: Swift, A.J. Brown, Devontae, Smith,
Goddard,
and Dallas Goedert. That should be your focus. And of course, Jalen Hurts using his legs. That's where it needs to be. And they have an opportunities to still. I mean, they have the Giants twice,
right?
And the Cardinals. So you got bottom feeder teams to finish out your schedule. There is no excuse why they shouldn't win the division. So I don't know where the internal discussions or concerns are coming in, but I certainly think that the Eagles should roll the rest of the games. What do you guys say?
I feel like that the only reason why these types of discussions comes up is any franchise when you lose a couple games. And I'm not going to lie, we didn't look good in, the game against the 49ers or the Cowboys. So, of course, when that comes up, then you start questioning stuff. And then, see, the worst thing that can actually happen to a player after a bad loss is you put a microphone in front of them, okay? Because they're liable to say anything, And, I mean, we're all human. Sometimes emotions get the best of us. Like Jalen said, he was questioning the commitment of people. And then he walked it back the next day and said, no, I was talking about me. I mean, and then AJ, he said he had to say he was arguing with people on Twitter. Then he comes back and say, I'm competitive, and they gave you the cookie cutter, answers that basically saying, don't put a mic in front of me after we lose because I'm upset and I'm liable to say something. I mean, we all do it. Me, I mean, you should see me after we lose a game, man. I'm snatching my jersey off. Well, not this one, but any other jersey, I'd have snatched it off and threw it, and I mean, it's your first reaction is just anger when you lose a game, especially a game like the one we just lost, because for all intents and purposes, we should have won that game. It shouldn't have been, it shouldn't even came down to that last play. Like Don said, we had a chance to put them away and we didn't. And, and you can't give anybody that many chances. Like I said, when I saw Locke get the ball back, I said, of course he's going to score. Why wouldn't he score? So what I look for, like Don said, I look for total dominance in this game. Like if we end up winning by like a field goal or like 4, if we win by anything under 10 points, I'm not going to be happy. I'm going to be just as disgruntled as I was after we lost in the other game, because we got to make a statement to say that, okay, we went through that tough, stretch of games, and we had a couple losses. So but now here we are back, we getting it in gear, getting ready for the long haul, which is the playoffs. And I just feel like I want to see a big game. I want to see a big game from our running backs. I want to see Swift go for over between 80 and 100 yards and a touchdown. That's what I need to see. I don't really need to see AJ Brown be dominant and catch a bunch of passes and have like 2 or 3 touchdowns. I don't need to see that from him, because I know he can do that if worst comes to worst. But what I need to see is the people that haven't been around, like pretty much all season. Like we really haven't seen Devontae Swift since, what was it? DeAndre Swift since that game where he had like 160 on the ground. Something crazy. Like the second or third game of the season, like he's been giving it to us in short spurts and short sample sizes. Like I want to see him come out, hit the hole, go north to south. Like they do a lot of east-west running, and that's not. We need north-south. Right. Like I said, the shortest distance between two places is a straight line. Go up the field. All that running to the side and trying to wait for something. No, go up the field. If you don't gain 3, don't lose 2. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather take the 3-yard gain. Don't lose 2 yards trying to dance around. Because, once you get the third and 2, 4th and 1, 4th and 2, you know what's coming. So it's just what it is. I look for us to actually dominate. If we don't dominate, Christmas Day, I'm knocking the Christmas tree down. Like, that's all I gotta say. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this. We better dominate. That's all I know. We better dominate, because if we don't, that tree's coming down.
The tree is coming down. I'm gonna say, we're gonna say, you said the tree is coming down.
The tree's coming down.
Just for some perspective, the Eagles are 13.5 point favorites. Over under is 43.5.
And we better cover that. Wow, we better cover.
You will not. Unfortunately, you won't. But go ahead. What do you have to say, Rob?
Well, I'll say 3 things, right? The Eagles, it's very simple. It's very simple. And I hate to side with them and add my great wisdom to their success plan. But, the truth is that with the Eagles, who I believe still have the best offensive line in football. I really do. I think they still have a great, great offensive line. Just run the ball. You don't, right? You're in December football. And so this is where running the ball really takes precedence over anything else. It's not the time to be cute, right? We all got cute in the beginning of the season, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter season. Now in the fourth quarter season, you got to run the ball. And you got 3 formidable running backs. In fact, Boston is like a giant killer. Like he has been all his career. He is
anytime touchdown.
Anytime
touchdown this week.
Anytime, he rules the Giants. Like, so, and even in the dominant games, y'all beat them in last year's game, including the playoff when y'all gave them that drubbing. It was basically, again, Boston was the man. But I think if you just run the ball, and I agree, Scrap, I think you hit it on the head. It's very plain and simple. Just run the ball. Go right the middle with Swift. Swift is that dude. Like, Swift could probably have like 1,500 yards if y'all weren't trying to feed AJ for the first half of the season. But the truth is, you just got to give him the ball, and that's it. Keep it simple. Just keep running the football. When you got time to extend a drive, when you got time to keep it simple and just again keep the drive alive. You don't throw 30 yards down the field, down the sideline to AJ Brown, and definitely not to old boy Watkins. Yeah, you don't throw nothing. Like Don said, don't throw him nothing at all. I mean, he don't need.
I don't even want him.
Is he a good blocker? If he can block, then you keep him out there
for the coin toss. I don't want him nowhere near the field.
He need to be with Dom up in the booth now. Dom got to chill in the booth. That's what Watkins need to be.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Be protected from the Eagle fans that want to come for his neck. So my whole thing is this though: you run the ball, but here is why I'm gonna come. I can't have a take without coming after the Eagles though. What's up with your coach though, bro? You can't say things like we threw that pass to AJ Brown because we were expecting to get a PI,
a pass interference. Yeah, I heard that.
You can't say that, bro. You
Listen.
can't say that. What describe that? Come on, can you give me an honest take? Can you represent the Eagle fans out there and speak on behalf of Eagle Nation and tell us what was Sirianni thinking when he said that? I'm going to run this play, and I want Jalen to throw 30, 40 yards down the field, and we were hoping to get a PI call. Is that the strategy now in the offensive rooms? Just throw it up and get a PI call.
I'm going to say two things about that. One, that's called begging, okay? You're begging for
begging?
Begging.
Begging.
Yeah,
okay.
He's begging. You're begging for anything to help you. And I go back to what I said a couple weeks ago, or maybe last week. My mom always told me, just because something comes into your head don't mean it has to come out your mouth. He could have kept that to himself.
Yeah.
He could have said anything other than that. When I'm in the car, because I hardly ever listen to music when I'm in the car. I'm always listening to sports radio because me as a sports fan, I need to yell at the radio when somebody's opinion don't coincide with mine. That's what keeps me going.
You like me, bro. You like
I need something to yell at. I need something to yell at. So when he said that, I just looked at the radio and I just turned it all the way down. I said, you know what? We'll ride in silence. If that's how Nick wants it, we will ride in silence. And I was in the car by myself, but we were in the car.
We were in the car.
Me and my multiple personalities. I said, you know what, y'all, we gonna ride in silence. Y'all can thank Nick for this, you know. But yeah, when he said that, I mean, I couldn't believe it, but I could believe it. I'm like, it's just sometimes like we don't know what to say, so you say anything. Like he could. I think what he did was, he didn't want to totally throw Jalen under the bus for throwing that pass. So he said, well, he was instructed to do that. But I mean, like I said, you're the quarterback. Like I said, I've never played quarterback in the NFL. So I don't know what he's seeing, as far as like, players bearing down on him. I don't know what he sees, that internal clock that every quarterback has. I don't know what his is, if it's 2 seconds, 3 seconds. I don't know what it is, or what he actually saw in the coverage that he didn't see Love, creeping up, from center field. But yet and still, like everybody says that, the underneath routes was open. He had Gainwell over here. He had Devontae running. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I don't know about y'all, but my Tuesday morning quarterback rating. Well, I say Tuesday morning because it's Monday Night Football, but my Tuesday morning armchair quarterback rating is 158.3. Like, listen,
QBR rating you can have.
Read all. Listen, my defense. I read all defenses. I see everybody coming from every which way. Like I've never incompleted a pass. What I'm saying is, it's easy for us to get on here and say that what we saw on the replays, but you don't know. You don't know what a quarterback sees with coming down.
Yeah. Trust me. Yeah, I know.
I mean,
a lot of open people on the.
I will say that they're we don't know what they see, but there has to be some situational awareness, right?
Right. Exactly.
If you know that all we got to do is get chunk plays to get within field goal range to prolong this game, that should have been the focus. So, honestly speaking, unless he was wide open, that should have never been an option. His option should have been, okay, we got timeouts. Let's get a chunk. Hey, let's go have your set players towards the sideline, catch it out of bounds. Let's just keep moving down the field. We have a good kicker in Elliott. Let's get close, kick the field goal, and then we can, then you can do all of that stuff in overtime. But at least But what I also notice about Jalen, right? And I say this is he don't throw a good deep ball. What I mean by that,
weird side arm kind
it's not even that. It's the timing of it. Like every time he throws the deep ball, you see his receivers running and they got to stop and wait for the ball. He's not Purdy. He's not Purdy. He's not. I'm sorry.
I said Brock Purdy. He is not.
Scrap. Keep going, man. That's one of those. It's my world. Comments. You're right. It's still my world.
You're right. He's not a Brock Purdy, but what I'm saying is like he always throws it like a second too late because he probably had AJ, open, maybe a second early. If he threw the second earlier, let him, run under the ball. That's what Devontae. Like Devontae, he's the fastest guy out there, but he gets behind him and he got to turn around and wait for the ball to get there. It's like throw the ball already. Like what are you waiting on? Like if you're gonna wait that long to throw it, you should be throwing it underneath. So in the off season, I feel like Jalen needs to work on his long ball. Like you need to work on your timing of your long ball, get on the same page as your receivers, and just if you're gonna let it rip. You can't second guess yourself. because that 1 or 2 seconds that you hold the ball, that's how Love was able to, get over there and make a heck of a play. That. I mean, that's just what it is. It's all timing. Everything is timing. So
that's a good point. That's a good observation. I agree with that. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, you can sit there and watch it. I noticed it from the beginning. Even last year, I'm like, yo, this dude's long ball is horrible. It's just last year, we were just playing,
super dominant.
Yeah, was just dominant.
Yeah, so. But
all right, so we got scores. I'm ready to hear what you guys have for the Giants-Eagles game.
I would say for me, I think it's to Scrap's point too. The Eagles really need a dominant win, right? You want that. I do think they'll cover the spread though, D, on this one. I think they will. I say this is in home, right? They're in Philly, so I think I'm going to take Eagles. I'm going to take Eagles 30-15.
30-15. Okay.
Yeah, 30.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be a good Christmas, and I feel like
I hope 17 doesn't
the tree will remain upright.
They better not score 17. I'm gonna say
unless y'all score 42, then that's different. Then they can score 17.
No, under no circumstances can they score 17. Under no circumstances. No circumstances. I'm gonna give them 10. I'm gonna say 10 is there. 13 at them. I'm gonna give them 13. I'm gonna say a touchdown and maybe 2 field goals. So they get 13, and we better score upwards of 38. So I'm gonna say 38-13. Like we gotta trounce these guys. Like, because that's just what we better do. So 38-13.
Oh man. I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
Oh man.
I'm not putting them up on upset alert, but I will say that they're not going to cover the spread. It's unfortunate. 13.5 points. So they have to win by 2 touchdowns.
Two touchdowns, yeah.
Will not happen. I have the Eagles winning 30-20.
30-20?
Wow.
Yeah.
They better not score 20.
They're going to score 20.
To me, and again,
Brian Dable's going to have some things going on.
I still argue with you about this, D, still, right? We talk about it all the time. I still think like a 14-point win is not a blowout. Yeah, I still think like that's close. You know what I mean? Especially depending
upon. You think a 42-10 is a blowout?
What's next on the agenda? I'm going to talk about the. It's all right, D. It's all right.
Listen,
it's all right. It's
what I feel about that. It depends on how the game ends. Now, if you're up 21 and then they score like a touchdown with like 15 seconds to go and then try to do an onside kick,
right,
that's
exactly.
a blowout.
That's a blowout, right? That's what I told you. That's a blowout. But if a game is 14-0, say the Eagles are winning 14-0 in the second quarter, and then the game remains that way throughout, and it ends up 14-0. That's not a blowout. The Eagles struggled in that game. You know what I mean? They got the win, but
what do you mean Eagles? If you shut a team out, you struggled. No.
If you're up 14-0, say in the middle of the second quarter, and then nobody else scores again in that game, and the Eagles get shut down in the whole second half, 2 quarters and a half for that matter, if they're only up 14-0 in the second quarter, that's a struggle. They struggled. The Giants played them still tough. You know what I'm saying?
I don't like the sound of that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm just using.
I understand what you're saying, but if that happens, I'm gonna be livid.
Right. No.
That's gonna feel like
I don't think that's gonna be. But I'm just trying to get the point.
If it's anything close, it's gonna feel like a loss.
Yeah, but that's the point I'm trying to tell D. I think a 2-point score. To me, a blowout is 3 scores or better. That's a blowout. Like that's a 42-10. Yeah.
That's 42-10. 42-17, 42-19, whatever it is. I get what you're saying. Let's move on to the game. Man, the Niners keep having games of the season. This is
a big one.
2 current number 1 seeds playing. San Francisco 49ers, or I should say Baltimore Ravens, traveling to San Francisco to play the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners, I'm just looking now, are 6-point favorites. That is through the key number of 5.
D, can you, if you don't mind, before you get into your take, sir, can you explain that point differential in terms of what Vegas is saying here. That according to Vegas, to me, that's not a lot. But according to Vegas, what do you think's going on there?
Typically teams get 3 points for home field, right? So the Niners are getting 6 points, right? So we're 6 point. Actually, Baltimore is getting 6 points. So they're traveling on the road. Typically, the home team gets 3 points.
Right.
We're 6 point favorites. There are certain key numbers in sports betting, which is 3, 5, and 7, right? 10s can be, it depends. Now, teasing a game is, do you want me to explain teasing or don't bother with that?
No, I remember you talking about the teasing. I understand.
Okay.
Yeah. Trying to lure them into
6 points. Mm-hmm. 6 points is really saying that, the Niners really need to win by a touchdown, right? We're a touchdown better than the Ravens. Now, the Ravens have a great record. They have been on the AFC side just as dominant. We know Lamar Jackson's record against the NFC has been stellar. He balls out against NFC teams.
Yeah, he does.
So I think, people are saying this is a preview of the Super Bowl, potential Super Bowl. I heard this was a preview. We've heard previews before. We heard preview of NFC Championship game when we played the Cowboys. We heard preview of the NFC Championship game or a repeat of the NFC Championship game when we played the Eagles. This one is a preview of a potential Super Bowl. I think it's going to be really, really interesting, our approach to it. Now, I will say this. I do feel that this is a preview of the Super Bowl. I do think that the Niners will be in the Super Bowl, and I do think the Ravens will be. I'm just nervous about one thing. I like our chances, but it's one of those things like, would I rather win in the regular season and lose the Super Bowl? Or, obviously the goal would be, if we meet them again, just sweep them. But it's one of those things when a team loses, you have an opportunity to make the adjustments. What do you learn in a win? As opposed to what you learn in a loss? And had we played Baltimore earlier in the season, obviously our teams were from early in the season till now, our teams are different. The way we're functioning, we've added players. Our overall team is different, right? What we're doing from, the defensive coordinator coming down and the, acquisitions that we made with Chase. And so those things have changed. Baltimore has been able to blow out teams. They've had injuries that they've sustained, so they've had to fine-tune their team. What they require from Lamar Jackson, what he's doing on the field, being a passer, the expansion of Odell Beckham's, in the offense, and Zay Flowers, and, going through that. Yes, they lost Mark Andrews, but, Isaiah Likely playing well. So it's all of that stuff that you have to factor in. I don't really like playing teams so closely who I would have to face. Like, that's why I didn't really care for the whole Seattle rubber match where we played them, twice in 3 weeks. But I will say this. I do like the Niners to handle business because, one thing, we're at home. The Ravens are coming, and I think we have our defense is equipped, although we're not going to be, and it looks doubtful that we're going to be without Eric Armstead. That's a huge loss. Hargraves has an opportunity or a chance to play, which should help. But I think, and this is going to give Chase Young an opportunity to really step up because, Baltimore's run offense, their running game is highly impressive. But then they have to deal with our run game, and they have to deal with the creativity of our offense, that motion. We're going to have to force Lamar Jackson into, I think we'll have to kind of make Lamar Jackson beat us with his arm. Just completely eliminate the leg part of it. He'll have to beat us. And I think we can win the battle against their receivers, if I'm honest. I think on our offensive side, they're going to have to deal with our run game. And they have a really good defense. They're going to have to deal with our run game. They're going to have to deal with our receivers. And there's already been trash talk. I think it's their corner. I don't know anybody. I don't respect anybody. Marlon Humphreys. I don't respect anybody on that team. Who in particular?
But
nobody.
But he didn't. He said that, but then I think he said that kind of tongue in cheek. Then he began on to say like, "Yo, they got mad players." He started running off all the players, and
we stopped.
So that's why everybody was laughing at his comments.
We stopped the tape. We stopped the tape once he said, "I don't respect any of them."
He showed John mad love in that commentary though. He did. That's why everyone was laughing at it. Like, why would you say that?
Damage is done. Too late.
Damage is done. D. It's over.
Debo is going to, and this is going to be a really, really big Ayuk game. I know Debo's going to have the game that we know he can have, but I think this is going to be a big Ayuk game. I like our chances. I think Kittle is going to get involved. I think we're going to get to the point where, should I say, potentially a Sam Darnold sighting. I think we're going to handle business, and I think they're going to put it like this. CMC will not have to play the whole game, and it won't be based on injury. I think they'll be able to get Mason involved. I think we're going to down the stretch because, once again, our goal is based on February. That's our focus. This game is important. Don't get it wrong. But both of us are number one seeds for a reason, currently number one seeds. And I think what we have to do is we can't make this game bigger than what it needs to be. The goal, as I've said all season, win the game, come out healthy. And that doesn't change. But I do like I'll give you my score, but I do like what we can do against the Ravens. What do you guys say?
Well,
you go, Rod.
Okay,
you
I'll
go.
just say this. D, you bugging with this Sam Darnold sighting and CMC hitting the showers early. Like, D, you wilding now. Now, D, it is still your world. Okay, I'm just trying to just here 42, number 140. I'm 42-1. He's 42-2. Okay, him 42-1. 42-1 is trying to tell you that this game, I actually got the Niners winning this game, but because I don't like the way Baltimore is constructed, I don't think the way they're built, they can win a Super Bowl. I just don't think you can win with a running quarterback as your dominant running attack. I just don't think it works. Philly has Jalen Hurts. Let's just say aside from injury for Hurts, Hurts is a running quarterback, right? But there's a plethora of other weapons. Gus Edwards can run. They lost Mitchell. That was huge. He was averaging 8 yards a pop when he touched the ball. A lot of speed. Now you only got Gus Edwards, and you still got Lamar, who's your leading running back. When your quarterback is your leading running threat, you're not winning a Super Bowl that way. I'm sorry. I don't care. I still don't think their wideouts are great. Zay Flowers, 65 receptions. He's their top dog. It's not going to cut it. They're not winning a Super Bowl. I don't think Baltimore's going to win a Super Bowl. I think they're going to fold. Lamar's 1-3 in the playoffs, and he's the Dak of the AFC in the playoffs, and he will fold. Okay, so he's going to fold. Their defense, though, on the other hand, is really, really good, and this is why I think you got to be careful when you say you're going to have a Sam Darnold sighting. Okay, all right. God forbid anything happens to Purdy. And it ain't gonna be because Sam Darnold is out there because it's just some mop-up duty now. Truthfully, D, I think this game is gonna be close because their defense. This is going to be the biggest test for the Niners defensively because they're good against the run, they're good against the pass. So I'm curious to see how Kyle Shanahan is coming out with his play calling in this game against probably the most formidable defense he's seen all year.
I've heard this. You said this with the Cowboys. Like you said the same. Yo, D.
No,
right?
no. But Dallas
this
has
is
a lot
the biggest challenge.
No,
did you say that?
No, I did. I did. I did. At that time, we were 3-1, and our defense was playing good. It was, but I mean, Dallas got shredded. So I could be wrong going into this game too, right? Dallas got shredded, but Baltimore has a better defense than Dallas, right? Dallas is a defense that plays from with the lead. That's how that defense is built. Play with a lead, rush the quarterback. That's it, because that's our strength is pass rush. So that's Dan Quinn knows how to disguise the deficiencies. But this team don't have a lot, and this team is really good on defense. So I think it's a very close game. I think y'all will find a way to eke this out because you still got, I think, the better playmakers. At some point, Debo is going to make a play. Ayuk across the middle is going to make a play on some crazy crossing route when you least expect it. He might have 3 catches in that game, but that third catch is going to be the catch that's going to end up setting y'all up for either a winning field goal or the winning drive. And that's how I think it's going to be. I don't think it's a low-scoring game because I don't like Baltimore's offense. Their offense I don't know why they just can't seem to get receivers on that team and get Lamar the help he needs. You're not beating anyone with Zay Flowers. I don't care what anybody say. You're not beating anybody with that dude. Likely he's playing well, playing good. I like, he's doing well, right? But most likely, you're not going to beat anybody. You're not going to beat the 49ers with just what I consider
to be
likely. Replacement player.
Likely, right?
It's not likely.
Yeah, a replacement player. It's not likely you're going to have likely as a replacement player that's going to beat you. It's not going to happen. I just don't. I don't see it. I like the Niners in this game, and y'all are home too. So yeah. But it's a close one though. But I'll reserve the scores when you get ready to do those. So I'll throw it to you, Scrap.
What you got,
Scrap? I actually feel like the Niners should roll. They should roll this game, and like Don said, we got to make. Well, not we. They have to make.
I like it. They said. I like it.
Well, I'm just talking from a Niners fan perspective. They got to make Lamar skip leg day. Make him use his arms. I don't trust him that much as a passer because he's kind of like wild with the ball. From what I've seen, the couple games that I watched him, he's not really like somebody that's going to beat you with his arm. Like he's one of those quarterbacks that I feel like shouldn't be throwing the ball more than 20 to 25 times a game. That's pretty much any quarterback. So you put him in there, like he's more, in my eyes, he's more of a running quarterback. He dual threat, so to speak. So and like you said, his I don't feel like their weapons match up with the 49ers weapons. Like it's very few teams that can match weapon for weapon with the 49ers. Like, it'll always be, okay, this guy match up with this guy, but then the 49ers have this other guy that's better than that other guy by like, a couple notches, so to speak, couple levels, So while they have like Odell, but he's kind of old, so he's old Dell, and they got and like you said, Andrews is out, so I don't think likely is likely to make that much of a difference. It's just it's going to come down to the Ravens defense, in my opinion. So will their defense be enough to keep the Niners offense in check? And right now I don't really see that happening because that's a tall order. That's a tall order to try to keep that offense under wraps. They put up points at will. They put up points at will. Yeah, they do. And pretty much like now that's a team that if they lose a game, they pretty much beat themselves with not even counting the injury, not even bringing up the injuries. It's just their offense is that dynamic. Like they have a guy for every situation. Okay, you take this guy away, here's this guy. You take that guy away, here's these guys. Like it's always another guy coming. So I feel like not to spend too much time on it because even though like Don said they're both the number one teams of their respective conferences, I feel like I actually don't feel like the Ravens are going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. I really don't. I don't think that they're going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. So what I feel like the Niners should roll. They should roll. Now, you got to go out there and actually play the game, but from what I'm looking at, just like the tail of the tape, the eye test, so to speak, I feel like the Niners should roll in this game. And if they don't, and if they better not lose this game. Like that'd be crazy. But like Don said, would he rather lose now or in the Super Bowl to this team? So because one of the hardest things to do is to beat a team twice in the same season, especially in football.
Right. Totally agree with that. Yeah.
Look who joined the chat.
Let me get ready.
What's up,
James? James is in the building.
Let me get my James stopper here.
James is in the building. What's up, bro? Yeah, man. Yeah, D. So yeah, for me, and you know what too? When Scrap was speaking about that, I thought about when he said that they won't represent the AFC, the Ravens. That is, think about their division, right? Like if you don't get, maybe if Deshaun Watson, plays a little better and obviously doesn't get hurt, right? And even though again Browning is been playing good, right? But if you had a guy like Rosie Cole, you know what I'm saying?
Get the chains off.
Get the chains
Rosie Cole, right? Put the chains in the door. Put the chains in the door. Cole chains
coming.
It's coming, right. Calling Rosie back. Bringing Rosie back.
Throw my hat in the air, man. Like the boat bro.
The bat signal.
Throw my hat up in the air, man. Come on, Rosie. I need you, baby.
Rosie, right. Don getting all the support in here, man. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that division might be even a little bit closer than what it is. You know what I'm trying to say? Steelers had a quarterback and what's his name? The quarterback for the Bengals there. Burrow doesn't really get Burrow doesn't get hurt. You know, and then of course
the Steelers beat the Ravens, right? I think so.
Let me see.
I think you're right.
I think they did.
I think you're right. Yeah, I actually think you're right.
I think I'm not going
to. So the Steelers, let me see.
I'm not going to.
No, they did lose to the Steelers. Yeah, 17-10.
I think I picked that, but I think I picked them on Upset Alert that week. Next show, I'll have that clip. I think I did do that. But
I mean, yeah, they did.
You throw them out every week. I mean, it bound to hit.
And listen, hey,
a broke clock is right twice a day.
So a team has to lose and a team has to win, right?
Yeah, every week.
So
and the Colts beat them too at home. So
let's see with Jake.
Yeah.
If we have to lose any time for the rest of the schedule, it needs to be this. The more I think about it, the more I think we should actually lose it. Yeah, I was feeling that if we're going to, and I feel we're going to face them again in the Super Bowl, this is what gave me that if we have to lose a game and we're going to play them again, which do you prefer? Like, think about when we played the Rams and we beat them. I think we swept them that season when they won the Super Bowl, and we played them again and we wind up losing in the NFC Championship game. So it was like that type of thing where you get that feeling, which game is going to matter more. I think we're going to win. I do think we're going to win. And, I don't want to start the backups for the Rams game be full of rust after a bye. No. I'm okay with the bye. I'm okay. I'm certainly okay with having a bye. Because
he's saying he don't want the players to not play that long. Like, you rest them against the Rams and then they get a bye. He think they're going to be on the shelf for too long.
Oh. The Rams have something to play for. Remember, they handle business Thursday. Mm-hmm. So they have something to play for. And with Seattle falling off, right? Although, well, they didn't completely fall. But clearly, if there's a second team that's coming out of the West, it's probably going to be the Rams, because the Rams are a really, really hot team now. So I think Week 18 is going to be for something. They're going to play for some type of seeding. So I don't think we'll sit it out and just say, hey, we'll see what happens. I think they're going to play. But, of course, because Kyle Shanahan has McVay's number, I think we'll be able to handle business and ultimately get the win. But this is a tough one. What's the scores, fellas? What do you have?
I got 23. I got 23-16 49ers. But I do have the Ravens with a defensive touchdown, though.
23. You think the 49ers only going to score 23?
Yeah, that defense is real, son. Yeah.
I'm gonna say 31 to. I hate to loan my 17 out to somebody, but I'm gonna say 31-17. I'm real. Yeah, I'm real stingy with my 17.
Stingy with your 17, right?
Yeah, man. I don't like to just loan my 17 out to anybody, man.
So you have both of you have the Niners winning this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I have the Niners winning also. I think we're going to slightly.
Right. Yeah.
We're going to put up 30 points. That 23 is a little insulting for us. But I think 38-28.
Okay.
38-28. I think we'll handle business. We'll cover the spread. But we'll
you think your defense is going to give up 28 points?
That's what I was thinking. You
Wow.
really gonna give them 28 points?
I think it's possible.
Because y'all gave up 234 rushing yards last week against Arizona. They ran the ball. But again, to me, that's an anomaly. And to me, the game was a blowout still.
Yeah.
The way that game was, that 234 yards, it wasn't like what 266 we gave up to the Bills. It looked different. It felt different. And it was still a dominant win by the 49ers. But that was the most y'all gave up this year.
The difference is the 49ers defense was laughing at them while they were doing it. Y'all defense was like, oh my goodness. Like Tucker.
So game? you have us losing, or you have the 30 is the Niners, right? I take it, James, that you have the Niners winning, right? Yeah, it's one of those games that's, I think 28 points for a team that is the number one seed in the AFC. Do I think we're going to, we're shutting and holding every team to 10 points? No, I think that's a reasonable amount, but we still put up close to 40 points on them based on my score, and we won by 10 points, 2 scores. So yeah, 28 points. You're acting like, well, 28 points. Would you guys like to put up 28 points? Did you guys either one of you put up 28 points against the Niners? I'm just
all I want to say.
Almost together we did.
Together.
Yeah.
Together. Yeah, we put up 29
together. Right, man.
Oh. Hey, man, I gotta get one of those, man.
That's an iPhone.
iPhone. Scrap's on an iPhone, man. Scrap, Donald, man. You know.
I'm staying with my Android.
I got an iPhone. You mean to tell me I can do all that? You're gonna have to give me a tutorial, right?
Well, you're
definitely got iPhone.
Especially on your you got your iPhone there, and you can do it on and you got the pad, your iPad, so you can definitely do it on the.
Oh, I gotta get production on my team, man. I gotta get production, man.
I agree, James. We bend, but we don't break. So yeah, Trey McBride last week.
Sorry, there's my guy cutting grass, guys. Sorry.
Oh, look at you now.
Look at you guys. Y'all got lawn guys. I got fireworks, man. This little ragtag operation. I'm over here running, man. Little mom and pop shop. I got
He's in a mom and pop shop. Listen,
Trey McBride had a really impressive game, really good game. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't equate in a victory, what does it matter? I mean, I think he had 10 catches for like 110 yards, and I don't know if he scored a touchdown. He might have scored a touchdown, but it didn't. So teams still there are NFL teams, but it's about us ultimately persevering and getting the victory,
winning and staying healthy.
That's it. That's all that we have to do. Get through the game, win the game, stay healthy. And so it should be really interesting. But in any case, shout outs to Kingdom Creative for the production. Shout outs to Infinite Audio for the music. Man, listen, great show. Once again, everyone, please like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page. We appreciate all that you do, all the comments. Thanks for joining us. Happy holidays to everyone. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Rod. Merry Christmas, Scrap. Corey,
same to you,
thanks, Corey, for joining us, man. Listen, good show. I know that he's looking for Miami to.
We'll be about.
Merry Christmas to James, man.
We'll be at my brother-in-law's house.
Merry Christmas to you, James. Yes,
Merry Christmas,
Rosie. Merry Christmas to Rosie.
To Bruce Phillips,
Andre. Right. Merry Christmas to everyone for joining
Merry Christmas
us.
to Bruce Phillips. That guy is all
exactly.
All wisdom.
Every alias,
That's right. Well, he said all the people in his car, right? It's like we're riding in silence.
Right.
Bruce, we're riding in silence. Okay, Scrap. Right.
Who's driving? Right.
Who's driving? Right.
But in any case, join us on our next show, which should be Tuesday after all of the festivities. After, most importantly, spend time with your families, enjoy this opportunity, and let me just see what James has before we roll out. Biggest problem we have in the Niners is the RB Titans breakout line scrimmage. Yep. scramble, screen game, which is the Ravens' strength. Yeah, but they don't have their security blanket. Isaiah Likely is he's playing well.
He's no Mark Andrews.
He's no Mark Andrews, and we need to just contain him. Contain Lamar Jackson, keep him kind of locked in, and we'll do just fine. Yeah, man. But yeah, Merry Christmas, James.
You filthy animals. Keep the change, you filthy animals.
Keep the change. But until next time, everyone, thank you for joining us. Peace. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.